Welcome to the Pay Yourself First podcast. My name is Chris Jolly, and I'm on a mission to financially empower millions of entrepreneurs. I want you to make and keep more money so that you can begin implementing and turbocharging a plan for creating financial freedom your way during the life cycle of your current business without spending a ton of time or becoming a professional investor. You see, most of the financial teachings out there are made for employees, not entrepreneurs. If you wouldn't listen to someone who doesn't have kids about parenting, why take business financial advice from someone without a business? Are you ready to break free of bad advice and follow the trail of other uncommon entrepreneurs so you can get from where you are now to the lifestyle you were aiming to create when you started your business? Then stick around. Here comes another episode of Pay Yourself First, where the only investment we offer is the one you make in yourself. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. I'm very excited today, as I always am, because I get to talk to another amazing entrepreneur today. Her name is Jen Benninger, and she is a genius. She's the Genius Unlocked coach from the Genius Unlocked Coaching Institute. Jen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day.
I'm so excited to be here, Chris, and I'm excited to have this conversation for your listeners. This is going to be a great topic, and I can't wait to dive right in.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast, and I'm really glad you could take some time and join us, and I'm sure you're going to have a lot of value to share. So yeah, let's jump right in. Tell everybody a little bit more about what it is that you do in your business and who you serve.
As Chris said, Genius Unlocked Coaching Institute. I'm a co-founder with my best friend and business partner. And what started our journey on all of this was understanding. I was a business coach for a really long time, probably about 5-6 years. I started asking the question, why are my clients not doing what I'm telling them to do? I know how to help them make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and 7 figures, but I couldn't figure out, why are you not doing those things I'm telling you to do?
Yeah.
And so I started on the journey of looking at the unconscious mind and the mindset work. So the clients that I serve is any entrepreneur who wants to understand what's going on, what are their blocks inside their mind that is stopping them from hitting the success, because your conscious mind knows what it needs to do, right? You guys know you need a prospect, you need to be an expert in sales, you need to roll over, you need to understand money, you need to know your numbers, and we get stuck somewhere in that path. So my business partner and I became experts in how the brain works, especially in the guides of entrepreneurship. And so who we truly help are those people who want to learn how to understand how their brain works. They want to understand how to overcome and what are the tools that they can actually overcome their own blocks. And then, of course, set a path on creating those inspired action steps so you know how to grow your business. So those are really the big topics, and the clients that we mostly have are on that journey.
Awesome. I absolutely love it. If I could make one giant banner for everybody in the world to see, it would be work on your subconscious first.
Yes, please.
That's the one thing that everybody gets to last, because we see all the surface stuff. We know what it is. It's easy to go after. And then we do all the work and we put in all the effort and we're still at the same place. And then we beat ourselves up and we're like, what's going wrong? Why isn't it working? And then we realize, oh, it's the subconscious.
Absolutely. And one small point on that, because I love the fact that you want to make a banner for the world to do that, is our philosophy is, if you think about your conscious and your unconscious, my unconscious, subconscious, they're synonymous, is think about a triangle. So just imagine in your mind, the bottom left-hand side of this triangle, that is your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is the goal setter. This is where you put these goals out in the world. You're like, hey, I want to make $10,000 a month. I want to make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures. I want to hit my first million. I want to grow a team. Your conscious mind in that bottom left-hand corner is the goal setter. Now go to the other corner. That's your unconscious or subconscious mind. That's the goal getter. This is where your motivation lies. This is where your inner critic, inner ego, inner child, and your intuition live. So that corner is what's actually getting the goal. It's inspiring you. It's getting that kick in the little booty that you need to go take that action. Well, if you notice, they're not connected. They're at the bottom of the triangle. So if you go to the top of the triangle, this is where you want to integrate the conscious and the unconscious mind. You want to get them talking to each other. You want your conscious mind to say, hey, I want to get this goal. And you want your unconscious mind to be like, yeah, let's go get it. And they do it together. And you do that in a lot of different processes. And what we specialize in is integrating that conscious and that unconscious mind. So many people entrepreneurs, especially Chris, especially
Yeah.
entrepreneurs, they beat themselves up, like you said, because their conscious mind says, I want this. And their unconscious mind is, but you have all this stuff that we need to get through first. So if you can learn to integrate the conscious and the unconscious mind by releasing negative thoughts and emotions, understanding how the brain works, and setting goals that you're actually going to hit, I could talk about this all day. We have what, 4 hours together, right? That's how long our podcast is today. It's about 4 hours.
Sure, 4, 8. We'll invite Joe Rogan on, you name it.
We'll be done by Christmas. But yes, I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. Okay. And now, when you are working with these entrepreneurs, what are some of the most common blocks that you come up against? Because I know from my own experience that, like, we all have our little things and we've all had different life experience, but then when you reduce it down, there's 3 or 4 things that we're usually bumping up against.
There are 4 if in our experience, and it's really fascinating. So the first one is, most likely you all already know, money. I don't have the money. I need to make money. I need to make money to spend money. I need to spend money to make money. I don't have the money. It's money. Fair enough. But I'm going to talk about that in just a second. The second one is time. I don't have the time. We just had one of our clients that's in our big program come to me just on Friday afternoon. And she said, Jen, she goes, how do I launch my new level of my business? She's up leveling her business. She goes, I have a newborn. And she's like, I don't have any time. The third one is relationships. And I don't mean necessarily intimate relationships. It could be with your partner, your intimate partner. It could be your children, your parents, depending on your age. It could be your business partner. It could be friends. It could be your environment, but relationships. So these are the 3 that most of our clients come to with. These are what we call presenting problems. This is my presenting problem. Now, the fourth one, which is what coach our coaches on doing, and what we train our coaches to do when we're working with entrepreneur clients, is we coach you down to what we call the greater problem, which is actually around mindset. You have to understand what is going on inside your mind that is allowing you to have money, time, and relationships as the challenges. Because if you think about it, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all have relationships. Nobody on this podcast is living at the top of a mountain as a monk by themselves. So you all have relationships, and money is the way that we survive. Like, it's a positive exchange of energy. Money is a positive exchange of energy. All of these 3 things we all have. Guess what? We also all have mindset. So how does someone set a goal and hit it? And how does someone set a goal and not hit it? How does someone like myself, my entrepreneurial journey, I started my first business in 1997, and it did not do very well. And then I was trading time for money. And then I went and became a business coach. Then I started doing marketing coaching. But here's the deal. I was only making enough money to get by because of what was going on inside my unconscious mind, because of my mindset. Once I realized what was going on in my unconscious mind, I cleaned all that up. I cleaned all of that up, and there's different processes. Okay. So there's lots of different things that you guys can do to clean all that up. I realized that was not the path for me, and ended up with a divorce, which was great for both of us. And that year we hit 7 figures in a 3-year business. So we hit 7 figures in 3 years as soon as I cleaned up all my stuff. So we said with the presenting problem, Chris, was money, relationships, time, which we can all chunk that down into those. It's really the greater problem is the mindset. How you solve it is you get to the root cause of when did those negative thoughts and emotions start in your life. Okay. And that's what we do, is we start with those presenting problems. And I know everyone here, every single one of us has got a story. Wow, if I wish I had done that before, I wish I knew that, or I wish I would, and you guys are going to wish yourself into nothing. How about saying, I'm excited to learn what is the mindset that I deserve to shift. Let me get to the root cause, shift that, and then create the life that I want. So those are the ones that we find in pretty much every single one of our clients over the last, I've been a business coach for a really long time, but since Genius Unlocked started, it's been about 5 years. And that is exactly what we have found in every one of our clients ourselves.
Yeah, of course. And that's one of, at least to me, the best things about being an entrepreneur. It is an endless lesson in self-development because your business really is just a reflection of everything that's inside of you. And
Absolutely.
you get the opportunity to have that mirror and to see and bump up against and deal with those subconscious blocks in a way that you would not otherwise.
Absolutely. And well, I'll give you an example. One of my root causes. Okay. Now your root cause comes from how you were raised, what was represented in money around you. I didn't realize this until I got into this work and started looking on my mindset. Is my grandfather, my mom's dad, was really the only entrepreneur in our family. And I've always been an entrepreneur. I even sold the most Girl Scout cookies. Like I always won the camp. I always won the thing. I always knew I was going to do it. And I started my first business, like I said, I was 20 something years old. And I was like, this is what I want to do. I also realized once I did the work later, when I realized it was unconscious, everyone in my family, my parents, my brother, my aunts, my uncles, their spouses, every single one of them called my grandfather a shyster. Wow. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He sold real estate. Yet everyone in my family was so stuck on get a job, go to college, that like, how dare you not know where your next paycheck's going to come from? It's just shifting your mindset and everybody can be abundant. Yet it was so fascinating to understand that I didn't reach for the goals that I really wanted because unconsciously my inner child didn't want to be called a shyster because my relationships around me and also my ex-husband was in law enforcement, and I had an identity attached to being a cop's wife, I had to support him when he did undercover work. Like I had to do all of these things. How dare I go out and be successful because everyone around me, my root cause was I unconsciously didn't want to be called a shyster. I cleaned up all my relationship. Now my parents just smile and nod and they're like, okay, whatever, you're living your best life. My dad, they'll ask me about what I do and they'll listen, but I don't have that, like you said, that mirrored back to me of I'm some shyster or something, but I had that programmed in my mind that I didn't want to do it. So how many of you ask yourself this question? How many of you have made money and then put every single thing back in because you don't want to understand what profit really is? You make money and you're like, oh, my unconscious mind. And then all of a sudden you're like, where'd all my money go? I remember my ex-husband telling me once, he's, what do you have to show for these 10 years of you being a business owner? And I was like, ow, that hurt.
I think that's one of the biggest gut checks for a lot of people because they don't want to ask that kind of question. And it's something that I come across again. And I had that own moment myself because most of us are not taught how to handle money, how to use it, how to save it, how to invest it, or any of that. And like you said, we make a bunch of money and then we go out and spend it all. And then we turn around and we're broke and our bills are due again. And we go through the whole cycle again and again. And it's really fascinating how those programmings just allow us to do that and continue on without giving it any thought.
Because it's unconscious. And it's so fascinating that once you can find that you can find the root cause, when you clean that up, how fast things change. We call it here at Genius Unlocked. I know that this is an audio, but our colors are like blue and purple and green and this, and we call it purple magic money. When we start shifting people's unconscious mind, they're like, Jen, oh my gosh, I got purple magic money, which is money that just comes out of nowhere. You're like, wait, I literally just happened to me. I found a debit card in my mail that I didn't know was not looked at. I got this 7 months ago and it's a debit card that has $600 on it. I literally found $600. And that's what we call purple magic money. How many of you had debts forgiven? How many of you have had a sale that you didn't know was going to come? The energy and the positive exchange of energy, money is a positive exchange of energy. That's the type of things we want you to lean into. Check in with yourself. Like, where was your mindset around you gathering that purple magic money? Because when you do that and you have a plan, you guys, you have to know your numbers. I know entrepreneurs on here, this is the last thing you wanted to hear from me. I get it. I get it. I didn't want to hear it either. I didn't hear it for 10 years. You have to know your numbers. Once you know your numbers, you can create the life that you want. And I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly numbers. I was $75,000 in debt when I first started realizing my unconscious blocks around money. Got out of that debt. One of the other cool things, Chris, I'd love to share is people also, I want to shift this for entrepreneurs. This is a key thing.
Yeah.
I know you guys are probably, so come back and listen to this if you're driving and you can't write this down. This would be a key thing, a little golden nugget, is if you can shift your mindset instead of looking backwards and using the word budget. I cannot stand that word. Now, there might be 9 million other podcasters that are on here that will probably have told you amazing things. So I don't want to necessarily contradict them. And I want to tell you the key thing that changed in our wealth program and every single one of our clients is when we shift our mindset and start forecasting and working in the forecasting and then putting what you're looking for out in the future and then watch as your decisions change. Because when you look at budgeting, you're dealing with what you already did.
Yeah.
And that's defeating. That's hard. Versus what we work with our clients is we want to shift your mindset and have you look at forecasting out and looking at what do you need to know. And we got ourselves out of debt, or I got us out of debt in 7 months, $75,000 in debt. And I didn't necessarily quote, go get a job, or I did make more money, but it's because of the process that we used.
Yeah.
But I had a plan. And what happens is when you guys have negative thoughts and emotions around money, you do the ostrich syndrome, right? You like stick your head in the sand and you just look up and you're just like, oh, please let this work out. Versus if you can say, look, I can be at cause, I can take responsibility. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, because you're entrepreneurs. I already know you're willing to do whatever it takes, or you wouldn't have ventured into entrepreneurship. If you can focus on forecasting forward, you can shift your money mindset in a moment and then focus on what's important, which is your numbers. So I don't know, Chris, I'd love to say one more thing on that, but I want to kick back to you for a second.
Yeah, you totally can. There's so much that's juicy in there that I think we could go 15 different ways and talk about it for an hour and a half. What else do you have?
You and I briefly talked before here. And one of the questions I asked is, what do you really want your listeners to hear? And it was about how to pay yourself first and what to focus on for your money. So when we're forecasting, that's where you put, when you're forecasting out, and I know I can't really explain it in the detail that you all want me to, because we're on a podcast yet. I just want to shift your mindset. If you're forecasting out, you put your paycheck in there. Then you start tracking. You got to know your numbers, but this is the formula that I teach people. So no matter where you are on your journey right here, okay, I want you can fill into this formula. I don't know if that's the right word. We'll go with that for now. So let's say that you're brand spanking new.
Okay.
What you want to track when you're brand spanking new is you want to track booked revenue, meaning the revenue that you have booked but not paid. So what does that look like? So we have different programs and we offer payment plans. Okay. So let's say that Chris decides that he wants to come to our $3,500 program. Okay. So he gives us a $500 deposit. Now I know that I made $500, but for a new entrepreneur, that's not a lot of money. Yet if you say I have $3,500 in booked revenue, which means you're going to make $3,500 in 6 months, right? 7 months, right? If he pays $500 a month, so to speak.
Sure.
That is giving your unconscious mind positive thoughts, but you still have the reality that you only have $500 in cash. Fair enough. We're going to get to when do you track cash? So the first step is really, what is my booked revenue? This will give you confidence. This will give you things to look forward to. This is what you put in your forecasting budget. Because you're going to know, hey, look, Chris is going to pay me $500 a month for 7 months. I put that in my forecast. I know what I want to pay myself. I know what my expenses are. And you putting it out in the future, what's going to be spent so you can make decisions. If you're only looking backwards in a budget, you're not leaving space for the new clients. So once you really get there and your booked revenue is going really far, okay? Now, the next level, now you want to start tracking gross revenue, which is how much cash comes in, not minus expenses. Okay. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to build up your unconscious mind to know that you're being successful. and you want to focus on what you want, which is more money. So once you've got booked revenue, and now that $500 a month that I said, Chris, now let's say you have 50 Chris's. Okay. I can't do that math. Whatever 50 times $500 a month is, I can't do that math in my head. That's why we have spreadsheets, right, Chris?
Yeah.
So you have that money coming in. Now that's not counting expenses yet. Now I'm actually going to do that math. Okay. Because I want to know how much money that is. So if you've got 50 people paying you $500 a month, okay, that is 25,000. I thought that was, but there you go. Guess what, you guys, you can make multiple seven figures in a business and not know what 500 times 50 is. So you've got $25,000 coming in a month. Okay. That's pretty exciting. Okay. Now you've put that in your forecaster. We call it a wealth tracker, but you put that in your forecaster. Now you can decide, can I give myself a raise? Should I give myself a raise? How much of a raise can I give myself? What team do I really need to bring on? And you're looking out in the future. If I add this, and it's like this living, breathing document, this wealth forecaster. And now you're starting to make different decisions because you have information. Again, if you're making $25,000 a month and you keep looking backwards, you're going to look at, oh my gosh, look at all the mistakes that I made, versus looking forward, look at all of these possibilities that I have. So then once you get really good at tracking gross revenue, and only then, once you really have got that dialed in, then and only then I want you guys to start tracking your net profit, which is how much money did you make, taking out all your expenses, how much money is left. Okay. Because when you're talking about money in an entrepreneurship business, I'm very clear on language. We do a lot with neuro-linguistic programming, and neuro means brain, linguistics is language of the mind, and programming means what are these programs that, like mine was shyster. That was a negative program. What kind of positive program? The positive program is when you're talking about, I want to make $10,000 a month. I really want you all to shift that language in what is the profit that you want? Because guess what? I've made $10,000 a month. I've also spent $11,000 in that same month. I've just broke at a different level. So you want to really shift your language when you're using your unconscious mind and saying profit, return on investment. What am I willing to break even on versus where do I want to make profit on? All of this is done by tracking your numbers. So I just use an Excel spreadsheet, ladies and gentlemen. I don't even have anything fancy. I don't have anything fancy. I have an Excel spreadsheet that I forecast out, that I track our income and expenses. And we offer 8 certifications at the first level for people, and one of them is wealth. And I just want to know how profitable is that program? If I'm charging, let's say $3,500 for this program, but it's costing me $4,000 per person, that is not a profitable program. I need to take my own advice.
It's charity.
So let me just recap. So the first thing, when you're brand new, I want you to be excited. And I want you to forecast out, what is your booked revenue? Congratulations, you've got your first client. Now, if they full pay, great. That's gross profit, but I want you to track booked revenue.
Yes, we know you.
Then once that starts going, then you go to gross, because then now you're even excited. Ooh, I love that I've got open invoices for $500,000, but look at me, I'm making $25,000 a month in gross. Then once you get really excited and used to that, then I want you to start tracking your net profit, which is your gross minus your expenses. So then you can start making smarter decisions. Still, in my opinion, and I've been a business coach for a long time, I teach wealth. My opinion, don't start hiring people till you've got a really good handle on your gross revenue per month, because then you can start adding the expenses and understanding what this person is going to, how much of that net profit is, or how much of that gross revenue is it going to dip into? Because if you got to pay yourself first, no one else is going to care about your business as much as you can. Now we have 10 team members. Trust me, I get it. I remember when we hired our first one, scared to frickin' death. Now we have 10. And actually we have a director of operations. I don't even know some of the people that work for us now, because I understand that as long as I know what my paycheck is, I know what my business partner's paycheck is, my team gets paid, and I still have enough net at the end to put money aside in taxes, investment. We just launched a 401k. We're considering healthcare. We're able to make these different decisions, but you have to be able to track your money. And then when you get to those different levels, then these decisions are fun. It's great to look into the future about your money, and it's not fun to look in the past and set a budget and only look at what you did versus making conscious decisions for the future. I just, based on what we've talked about so far, I really wanted to share that with your audience, because if they can get that down, they're already on track to understanding where their blocks are, see where this stuff is.
Super useful and a great and thorough explanation of the system, Jen. I think that's a lot of value for everybody out there. So if you need to go back and rewind that, slow it down, listen to it again, make sure you do so, because that's a key piece of information to get figured out. Okay, now that's great for everybody else out there. Now I want to talk about a little bit about you. Obviously, from what we've heard, you're clearly keeping your numbers already. You've got a good handle on all of it. I want to ask you this question. I want you to imagine that your business is like a garden hose, okay? And as we know, water flows through a garden hose, and that's like the cash coming in your business, literally your cash flow, right?
Yes.
Now, a hose can curl over itself, and then it gets that kink, and then the water trickles and slows down, and it can totally stop. So for you, if there's one kink in your business right now that's stopping more money from coming in, what is it?
That's a great metaphor. I love that analogy. I'm gonna have to give you credit, and then I might have to use that. I'll give you 100% credit. I will give you 100% credit. I just might have to use that in my wealth class. That is an excellent question. The short answer is we are trying to crack the code of more leads coming in the top of the funnel. So one of the things that we're excellent at, we have an 80% rollover rate, which means once someone comes in, what a rollover rate means is when someone becomes a client of Genius Unlocked, they continue to buy and buy and buy and buy. They keep buying more of our programs, no matter what level they come in at, whether they come in at the $50 level, the $500 level, or the $100,000 level. As long as there's something, they're like, we're with you for life, Jen and Carson. Carson's my business partner. So we have an excellent rollover rate. The other thing that we have is we're 100% referrals at this time. We have spent and lost about $250,000 in Facebook ads or the traditional social media marketing. Literally have spent $192,000. I'll be even more exact last year. And it was like the best company ever, right? To do Facebook ads and copywriters. And we had a launch company and all of this stuff. We got one sale for $1,000 because it wasn't our ideal audience.
Yeah.
It was not our ideal audience. We've built multiple 7-figure income on our affiliates. So what is the lesson that I want you all to hear? I'm not saying that don't do Facebook marketing. I'm sure a lot of you on here have very successful Facebook marketing careers. You want to check in with your intuition. What is your intuitive business sense telling you? What has worked? Don't do what other people have told you to do, because to be fair, we need to have those type of mistakes, and our little inner ego needed to come out and be like, look at us now. We did, but this is the second time. The first time we lost $60,000 in our second year in business. And the day we fired the Facebook people after we spent $60,000, that we did not have. It was in year 18 months, not even 2 years into business, we'd spent $60,000. Wow. So we were still in the booked revenue phase. And the day we fired that, we're like, look, we just cannot do it. We got 0 results. That day that had happened, we got a call from somebody that said, hey, Jen and Carson, we have all of these real estate groups. Everything that you do helps real estate people. They gave us 20 talks.
Amazing.
That same day. So again, that's what I mean by listen to your intuition. Don't do what other people tell you to do. What is your business process? So then those talks, that was December of 19. What happened in March of 20?
Nothing that I can think of.
I can't think of anything that happened in the March of 20. So we're literally doing, is the world going to shut down? Is the world not going to shut down? Like we were still in that little whatever. Yeah. So we're still doing these talks, and we're actually sitting in the back of the room at the beginning of March, 2 weeks or so, a week before the world shuts down. And we're like, we're not sure what's going to happen. If they really do shut down the world, it ain't going to be for 2 weeks. Which is what they first said. So then we intuitively came out with our wealth challenge. That led to massive success. So then we're like, oh, then we all referrals, affiliates, all this stuff. Then we went into let's amp it up in 2022. 2022, 2021. I don't know what year. Yeah, 2022, last summer. So it's been a year. So about last summer, we're like, let's do it. Let's get a launch company. Let's get a copywriter. She writes for people in LA. Like she writes screenplays. She just understands sales. We hire this copywriter, like $10,000 a month. We had this launch company. We do this like 20,000 here, Facebook here, $50,000 here. We're just like, we've got the money. Let's just do it. because we went against what we knew worked for us. So the kink in the hose was, why are we starting to do different things to get the leads in the top of the funnel? So what's starting to unkink, Chris, is it's taken us, first of all, we were pretty hanging even for a few months. It was really did a lot on our mindset. I'm not going to lie. Like that sucks. That's $200,000. I don't care how much money you make. That's a lot of freaking money.
Yeah.
And I took a little bit of a pay cut, didn't just a little bit, nothing horrible. We did have to let go one of our team members. We completely let all of that go. And then about 3 months later, everything started ramping back up. So this is what I want. I know that was the kink, but let me tell you how we're getting the kink out right now is we realized that since it is referral based and our rollover rate is so high, if we can talk and get in front of people. So we shifted all of our marketing money, so to speak. And I put that in quotes because what is that really?
Right.
To really building JV partnerships. Because if a JV partner goes through our program and then is, oh my gosh, I want to, everyone needs coaching skills. I don't care if you want to be that's not what we're about. We're a coaching institute, but it's not, some people are coaches, but it's about getting the coaching skills because you all need them in sales. You all need them when you have a team, you need them in marketing. You all need like coaching skills is what we're all about. That's why pretty much anyone is an ideal client for us. That's an entrepreneur is then we would get and do a 45-minute or a 90-minute talk. Their audience would come to our masterclass, and then we would have people coming into the first thing. So the kink really truly is up leveling to, we want to make multiple seven figures in 1 year, which is the next financial goal for us.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to increase what is getting people into the top of funnel, which I know is most people's challenge, which is why I told a little bit more of the story. Sure. Is what is your intuition? What is intuitively coming up for you on where do you get clients? My business partner and I both love to talk. I'm not sure if you guys have figured that out yet. I think Chris said like 7 words since we started talking
about,
and we love to share the value of what we do. So if we're like, oh, if that's where our genius is, that's what we're good at. Why wouldn't we go after that for leads instead of going over here consciously? Oh, I need to spend $200,000. So what lessons have y'all learned in your business that you can take as positive lessons? Yes, it's very positive that we spent $50,000 to learn these lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that for me, at least, I have found that the most valuable thing is experience. And as hard times can be, like the people that we become because of it is what spurs us on to that next level and the next stage of our journey.
Beautifully put. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. And that's what we teach our clients. So yeah, I love absolutely. That.
Very cool. Now, I have one more thing that I want to ask you before I let you go.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is, I want to know what financial freedom means to you. So I want you to imagine a place in the future where you've totally replaced yourself in your business, at least in all the things that you don't absolutely love doing. You have so much money coming in, you can live the life you've always dreamed about. What are you doing with your time then?
Easy answer, traveling. I absolutely love traveling. We actually, because it's really funny because it ties to what you just said. When you said experience, I want to experience different things. I have an adventure side of myself. I love to try new things. I love to go and check it out. We do an international retreat every year at a different location, and our clients love it. And then I have older children. I have a 16-year-old and a 20-year-old daughter, 2 daughters. So they're living their lives. So they get to experience different things when they travel. And really, the other thing is continuously to grow myself, no matter what, because money is a reflection of what's going on inside of you. So in order for me to have that unlimited money, only doing what I want to do, what would I be doing with my time? True financial freedom. That means I had to have done a lot of work on myself to make that happen. Yeah. Because you're the most vulnerable part about somebody is the bedroom and money. It's the bedroom and the bank account. Those are the 2 most vulnerable places. If you are living in that true financial freedom, that presupposes that you have done so much amazing work on yourself. Then that means you're raising the vibration of the world, which means your ripple effect is going further and further. So I would be traveling. I'd be with my family, my friends, and I would be continuing adventures, and I would be continuously to going inside and working on myself so that I can create more and more of the life that I want and leave the legacy for my family and our business.
I absolutely love that vision, and I am so excited because you're clearly already on your way to it. So absolutely amazing. Now, before I do let you go, for anybody who wants to learn more about you and the awesome work that you do, where's the best place for them to go check it out?
You can check out our website, geniusunlocked.coach. And the first page just talks about our different certifications. But again, like I said, it's really about anyone that wants coaching skills. You don't necessarily have to be a coach to do that. There's also a bunch of free offers, but I would like to give a free gift to everybody here, which is, it's called our Unlocking Intuition Challenge. And it's 23 meditations around connecting your conscious and your unconscious mind so that you can discover, trust, and take inspired action from your intuition. And you're like, how does this relate to everything you talked about today, Jen? And I'm like, everything, because our intuition told us we needed to not do the second round of ads, yet we did it anyway because we needed to get the learnings. Our intuition also told us to go do the talks. Our intuition also told us to create the masterclass. On all the socials, Genius Unlocked on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. The main thing I want you all to know is you have it inside of you. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a special breed and you can make it. You can create the life that you want as an entrepreneur. Just keep tapping in, turning on and tuning in to your intuition and knowing your numbers and bringing that into the physical world. I'm here to support you for anything that you need.
So well put. Thank you for that. And thank you again for coming on the podcast. It's been an absolute joy. And I know you delivered a ton of value for everybody. So yeah, it's been a blast.
Thank you so much, Chris. And thank you guys for taking out your time to listen. And I hope you are able to implement some of these items to support you in your entrepreneurial journey.
Awesome. And if you did listen today and you enjoyed this podcast and you haven't subscribed yet, like I asked you every single friggin' time, please go ahead and do that. We really love that. And you can also leave a 5-star review for us. That helps us to get the word out to other entrepreneurs. And if you're an entrepreneur like our amazing guest, Jen, and you want to come on the podcast and talk about your business journey and what's been going on with you, we would love to do that as well. You can go to pyfpodcast.com for that. That's the letters pyfpodcast.com. We'll see you all next time. Jen, thanks again.
If you've listened this far, chances are you're an entrepreneur looking to become more financially literate and create financial freedom for yourself from your business.
The Pay Yourself First podcast
is definitely here to help with that. My goal is to continue to share what I've learned about using your business as the tool to create financial freedom. But let's face it, it would take me years to share with you everything you need to know via these episodes. Creating financial freedom is something that most people never even consider, let alone make a plan for or take action towards. It's something almost no one was taught anything about. Doing it as an entrepreneur is even more challenging, especially without support. So if you're ready to get clear on what financial freedom looks like for you, come up with an action plan, and get the support systems and accountability you need, I invite you to consider the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur. I created the program to help entrepreneurs just like you get a handle on their personal and business finances and start building confidently towards financial freedom. And it's how you can discover ways to take 10 years off your retirement, add an extra 5 or 6 figures to your portfolio, and finally get clear on what numbers you should be tracking in your business and why. Together, we'll gain clarity around your financial goals and what being financially free would actually look like for you. Then we'll put together a customized game plan to get you there and the accountability to see you through. And by the way, you're also going to get all the spreadsheets you need to run your numbers, lifetime access to the materials, including any updates, and entry into our members-only community. In addition to all the knowledge, coaching, community, and systems that you need to create financial freedom from your business, you'll also receive a free financial assessment, a retirement planning session, and guided meditation aimed at helping you embody the feeling of true financial freedom. So yeah, you can just listen to the free content on these podcasts to help you move towards becoming a financially free entrepreneur. And sure, you'll likely see some results, or you can make the decision to commit to learning, implementing, and embodying what you need to know to create the financially free life you dreamed of when you started your business journey. Click the link in the show notes to answer a quick questionnaire, and you'll be on your way to joining the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur.